Good day all. So over these next 8 weeks I'm going to be talking to you about the lives of 5 women which unfortunately lost their lives due to very unfortunate circumstances. This took place in the year 1888 and these were known as the Jack the Ripper murders. Over these next 5 episodes, which I'll be showing you over the next few weeks, I will not be talking about these poor women's deaths, but I will be talking to you about their lives. After all, it's coming up to the anniversary of when these poor women died. So it's not a time to talk about their unfortunate ends, but it's a time to cherish their lives. And the ladies I will be talking to you about are Mary Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes and Mary Jane Kelly. In this first episode, I will be talking to you about the first lady today, and that is Mary Ann Nichols, or her families and friends used to call her Polly Nichols. Now, Mary Ann Nichols was born August 26, 1845, and she was born in a place called Dawes Court, just off of Shoe Lane, which is the street we're walking on right now. She had 2 brothers and she was the second of 3 children. Her eldest brother was known as Edward and he was born in 1843, and her youngest brother was known as Frederick and he was born in 1849. We don't know much about her early life, but her story becomes a lot clearer when she marries William Nichols at St Bride's Church just off Fleet Street. The church is often called the Printer's Church, and since William Nichols worked as a printer, it made perfect sense for them to marry at St Bride's Church. Today, there is a memorial plaque inside the church, which honours the life of Mary Ann Nichols with the words, "We will remember her life, not her end." Mary and William had up to 5 children together: Edward John in 1866, Percy George in 1868, Alice Esther in 1870, Eliza Sarah in 1877, and finally Henry Alfred in 1879. The family lived at 30 to 31 Bouverie Street, which is just off Fleet Street, before moving to 131 Trafalgar Street off the Walworth Road. It was said that they stayed up there for around 10 years. During that time, Mary even witnessed her brother Edward's wedding to Mary Ann Ward, which took place at St Peter's Church, Walworth, on Christmas Day in 1869. After a decade living at Bouverie Street, Mary and William decided to move, and they moved to 6D block at the Peabody Estates in Stamford Street, paying just over 5 shillings a week, which equates to £25 in today's money. During the 1880s, William and Mary finally separated. William had accused Mary of drinking too much, whereas Mary's father accused William of going off with a nurse that actually cared for Mary during their last childbirth. Whatever their truth, their marriage was doomed and their lives were in trouble. For the next 8 years, when Mary separated, she really struggled. She was often in and out of infirmaries and also workhouses. She was living in desperate poverty. William decided to cut all support payments to Mary, and this is due to the fact that he thought that Mary deserted him and their children and said to have gone off with another man. He eventually proved this in court when he actually proved that Mary had been acting as a prostitute in order to survive. Here are just some of the places we know Mary stayed. Lambeth Workhouse in 1880 to 1883, with short spells in the Lambeth Infirmary. She then moved back to her father's home in 131 Trafalgar Street in 1883. Through her drinking, she was soon forced to leave. Later, she spent time at St Giles Workhouse in Endell Street and Strand Workhouse, Edmonton, both in 1887. In early 1888, she was admitted to the Mitcham Workhouse and Holborn Infirmary. In May 1888, the matron of Lambeth Workhouse found her at work as a domestic servant in Wandsworth, where Mary wrote home, hopeful about her new start. Sadly, it didn't last. By August 1888, she was staying at the Gray's Inn temporary workhouse, then at 18 Fall Street, where she shared a room with 3 women. And finally, her last day was the White House, which was on 56 Flower and Dean Street, which was a doss house notorious in Whitechapel. Mary, or known as Polly to her friends, was described as 5 foot high. She had high cheekbones, dark complexion, brown hair and brown eyes. Now, despite all this, and despite her troubles, her friends described her as a clean, kind-hearted lady that rarely got bitter about anything. But unfortunately in Victorian life, alcohol played a vital role in her life. And despite all this, her friends still called her a very kind-hearted soul. Mary, you may be gone, but you will not be forgotten.